If you didn't make an anonymous account during the ZERP era of 21-22, then welcome to the permanent underclass. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the Anon accounts took over and are now running the world. From influential blog posts to big AI labs, from insightful threads to elected officials, from nobodies to niche internet micro-celebrities. Today we'll explore what led to the rise of the anonymous tech-adjacent Twitter account and take a look back through the years at some of the moments that shaped niche San Francisco technology culture forever. We will cover all of this and how we got here. Think World Cell Shape Rotator, Twitter Spaces, EAC, and even an app that was dedicated solely to anonymous schizo posting. And due to popular demand, and just generally by being a cool, handsome dude that is one of my close friends, Spor returns to talk about his gateway into the world of anonymous posting. Clap for Spor. Where was I? And what life has been like as a newly doxed member of the timeline. This is the kind of analysis you'll get from us, the members of technical staff. Sophia, I must ask, what's it like going from an anonymous account to being integral to the niche San Francisco technology culture?
Oh gosh. The interesting thing is that I don't feel like I am fully doxxed yet. I feel like being in San Francisco, throwing a lot of parties, showing up to things, and networking in venture, I do feel like I'm doxxed in a sense. But I don't think that people can like look me up and go, oh, that's Sophia. I'm still giving out my username at parties. There's not like a lot of recognition. So as there was before, like in 2022, 2023. When I was, you'd show up to the poster parties, you'd show up to the people, it's just Teapot, it's like the 50 people you would see on the thing. They're like, oh, you're that girl. You're the girl with the hair and in the wishbone as her name. Like,
yeah, exactly. No, of course, and now where we are now is just kind of like the hotspot for San Francisco technology culture, right? It's like this place hosts all of the great events. I mean, at least as far as I'm concerned, all the great events, all the events that you might want to be a part of. That and maybe like Mott's Halloween.
Mott's Halloween. What a party.
Yeah. Of course, Sophia mentioned Teapot. That is this part of Twitter. So all of these weird little schizophrenic fucking little acronyms, we'll get into. I think a cool place to start is like, why was there even a need to be anonymous in the first place? Of course, I have a take on that. Basically, if we want to use one of those cool little intellectual terms like the Overton window.
Oh gosh.
Imagine explaining that to a child from the Victorian era. What's an Overton window? But basically, my take is that 2021, especially coming out of COVID, maybe we want to say that like 2020 was peak woke, right? Peak cancellation. And so therefore there were sort of just a bunch of us that were working and thought it'd be funny to just kind of like do the anti-LinkedIn thing. I think that's like the explain to me like I'm 5 take on like why a bunch of us were anon around sort of 21, 22. Of course, it does go a little deeper than that. But yeah, I think the explain to me like I'm 5, it's like, cool. We felt like we couldn't really say many things. And so therefore we put like a little anime profile picture and put pit vipers on them. And that was sort of the trend around, beginning of 2022. I don't know, you got any thoughts on this?
For me, I think the whole reason I started my account was because it was Clubhouse.
Yeah.
And I had a Clubhouse account and I had like a main Twitter profile that's like very much still up. And this is back when likes were public. It'd show Sophia liked this post.
Bring it back. It was like I just think it's a measure of signal, right? I mean, like if you can look through who has liked, who hasn't liked, right? It brings jeopardy into engaging with something. I am still a big fan of likes not being hidden, but there goes half the audience, I guess. Probably the most controversial take I've ever made on the podcast, but that's okay.
James like bring likes back, and I'm like, no, let me like my weird shit.
Our first disagreement. Yeah.
Yes. No, but I had a main account, and I had liked to tweet. Yeah, again, peak woke. I'd like to tweet that was talking about some hospital in the UK changing their language from pregnant women to birthing people.
Classic.
And I had been working in and around politics and political campaigns, and election tech for I think 3 or 4 years at that point, and I had a lot of people from like that side of the world, specifically like the progressive side, follow me. Somebody saw that I liked this. I sent it in a group chat, and they were like, Sophia, are you transphobic?
Oh no.
Sophia, are you Sophia, what does this mean? What did you mean by this like? And I was like, I thought it was just a very matter-of-fact, informative thing.
Totally.
And and then I was like, oh God, I need to, if this is what it's going to be like, all of my likes are going to be attached to people are going to be doing like policing.
Yep.
As I'm like exploring new parts of the internet, exploring new, getting out of the Overton window, expanding out.
Yes.
I need to be able to do this privately.
Yeah. No, of course.
And then also like getting on Clubhouse, you don't want all those people following you.
You're not trying to have people follow you into the Mike Solana Chesa Boudin debates circa 2021.
No, God.
What a time.
So then a new Twitter account was born, RIP my old username.
No, totally. I mean, I didn't really spend that much time on Clubhouse. I mean, I was online at the time, of course, but I think around 2021, I was still sort of more like finance adjacent. So I was really following like the Wall Street Bets stuff, the Roaring Kitty, GameStop saga. And so I was following accounts like, I was following portfolio managers.
You're doing
basically.
like liquidity.
Yeah,
and you're on,
yeah.
FinTwit
I thought like Trust Fund Terry was fucking hilarious,
He
and,
still kind of is.
Yeah. I mean, shout out Trust Fund Terry. Dude's using my post on Instagram now, apparently. Been sent that one a fair few times, the Chinese spy post. Won't go into that. But no, I didn't spend much. I mean, I really came on the scene around Twitter Spaces, which was when we actually properly started to interact.
Yeah.
Right? Twitter Spaces was just like this. I remember just being, living by myself in Sydney and just thinking like, oh, like these guys are really, really funny. Like I'd already kind of started posting. I was like, I really liked the anti-LinkedIn thing because like Sydney, Australia, I mean, still kind of is. It's so LinkedIn slop. It's so just fucking like corpo boring. And so I found the anti-LinkedIn vibe to be really, really funny. And so, came into Twitter Spaces. I remember one of my first Twitter Spaces, I was actually on a flight back from New York. So New York to San Francisco at the beginning of 2022. I was actually, the reason I was in New York is because I was filming a jazz masterclass.
That's right.
So go fucking figure. Fake resume, I know, like L plus ratio. But like basically, and I remember joining one of the original word cell shape rotator Twitter Spaces, right? And I remember Anton Troinikov was hosting. And I actually still have a screenshot. I've got a screenshot on my phone. I'll put it in the post production of me in the Twitter space and like listening to this. Like I just remember thinking like, what the fuck is going on here? And sure enough, what I was witnessing was a transformative moment in niche San Francisco like micro technology culture.
Celebrity influencer.
Because if we get into the word cell shape rotator, I mean, what I didn't realize at the time is that Rune had been posting about this for, quite a while, probably since 2020. I mean, I even have a post here, like if I bring up a post from him, I think this one is from 2021. So he says, eventually captures will just get too hard for 90% of humans and only master shape rotators will be able to log onto websites. This was from July 2021. I mean, has it happened yet? I mean, my old co-founder was struggling with a capture the other day. Like,
oh yeah,
this is the thing. I mean, he has another one here as well. This was from February 2022. So post blog post.
Post blog post, post Mark Andreessen, like
post biology, like all of these things. He says that word cell is now more popular than incel. Rather than contribute to incel ideology, I have defeated it. Master.
What a guy.
And so, I mean, I guess like, I've kind of glossed over it so far, but what is the dichotomy of word cell shape rotator? Can you do like an explain to me like I'm 5? Is that even possible with this?
I don't know. I feel like you would want to get Rune on here
to like
really explain the thesis.
Yeah.
Word cell shape rotator.
Well, it's like, I mean, you can't, it's not simply just like right brain versus left brain. Or like, it's not simply just like, verbal IQ versus, I don't know, like math IQ, like whatever the fancy term for that is.
People would love to make it as like simple as verbal and then, oh gosh, what is
the math one.
The math one.
Again. We can get Rune on to explain
versus quantitative skills. But things like quantitative skills don't necessarily mean that you are a good shape rotator.
Yep.
Nor does having like high verbal IQ mean that you are a word cell.
Totally.
Because I think that sometimes high verbal IQ might not necessarily mean that you were able to translate what you are saying into like written text. I have friends who say they're shape cells.
Shape cells.
Shape
cells.
Oh
my god. Yeah.
Word rotators, perhaps even.
Yeah.
know, you're like that secret third.
Yeah, the secret third thing. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think like even in his blog, I mean, I think the best way to even think about it is like just look through some of the examples that he's given, right? He's given like San Francisco versus New York, right? Like shape rotator versus word cell, New York being the word cell. I mean, I think, if we think about like the art, the Arto, Dime Square faction of New York, maybe that is the more word cell. But,
yes.
Another one, he says capitalists versus socialists, deep learning versus crypto. Again, I think the examples are a decent way to spell it out versus going through some of the tweets that try to simplify it probably a little too much.
Yeah.
But
it ultimately just feels like an extension of like Kiki Booba.
What the fuck's that? Kiki Booba?
It's like these shapes, and I wish you could like pull this up.
Yeah. Oh, I can. Hey, we can do anything.
We can do anything here. Great.
We can do literally anything.
Booba being like this sort of abstract blobby shape, and Kiki being this sort of spikier shape, and you can sort of use this. Designers talk about this a lot.
Yeah.
And it became this like weird sociological thing. People are publishing a lot of papers about it. The intersection of art and technology and like
bring it back.
Really, truly. So they would characterize things as like Booba or Kiki.
Yeah.
Shape rotator versus word cell kind of feels like an extension.
Totally.
Of this. It's not necessarily something that has to have like defined language.
Of course,
around it, but it's more of a vibe and being able to like. But obviously, word cell, shape rotator has like a lot more. There are a lot more parameters in which you could use to like classify someone into shape rotator or word cell.
We'll get Rune on to revisit this. It's I mean I think that's a great analogy. Kiki versus Booba. I mean maybe you need to write the next blog post on this. I mean we kind of touched on one, we touched on vibes, two, we touched on Twitter Spaces. So that brings us to the rise of EAC. No.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to say on the shape rotator thing, that was such like an iconic moment on the timeline. Everybody was talking about it. People were making shape rotator games. Mega Base Chad made a shape rotator game.
Yes.
Like how fast you could do it.
Yep. There was merch.
There was merch.
Yep.
And I like lobbied really hard for a crop top.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Rune had like done the shape rotator thing. Kat Orman, one of my roommates, made a tweet that was like, rotate me like one of your shapes. And Rune was like, I'm not going to put the Microsoft like shape rotator thing on a crop top, but I will put rotate me like one of your shapes.
Pretty good.
On a crop top. And, back in the good old days where you could like, where it was like, okay, maybe to like post a photo of you in a crop top and then get like 400 followers from it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rune, for letting me buy a crop top.
Absolutely. No, man has made more contributions than one to the niche San Francisco technology culture.
I should have worn it.
Yeah. Do you still have it?
I still have it.
Oh shit! I don't even think I've seen this. You need to whip it out at some point.
I find it like every 3 months.
Really?
Like, damn,
yeah, one of those pieces of history now, of timeline history. I mean, and I think, we kind of come into another blog post. Of course, I mentioned EAC. And again, another one of those things in which was co-opted by many leaders in technology. Of course, what people don't necessarily know is that there were a few of us that were early to EAC, that was born out of Twitter Spaces.
What Jaden's trying to say is that he was one of the original co-authors of the EAC blog post. Him, Baze Bay.
Bazelord.
Yep. Bazelord and Beth Jesus.
And Zeshula. Rest in peace, Zeshula.
Oh my God, Zesty.
Yeah.
What a guy.
Yep. What a guy.
All our anons just dropping off the face of the earth.
Yes. He's out there in the ethos, living happily ever after. I'm in touch with him. He's doing great for himself. I can promise you of that.
Good to hear. Like a dog that's been taken out.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't know what happened to him. Who knows?
But no, of course. We still see the EAC symbol in people's names. Of course, Beth and Baze still stewards of the movement. Of course, both of them, quite frankly, are very busy building something. All of us are. Both of them, yes. Absolutely. They're builders at heart. It's at least, if you're gonna go ahead and start a niche San Francisco technology movement, cult, whatever you want to call it, at least be building something, and they are, to their credit. But I remember this just going off. We all had sort of anywhere between 400 to 1,000 followers at the time. And this was born out of a Twitter space. I was in San Francisco at the time as well. Born out of a Twitter space at like 2 a.m. And it was actually that just like kind of summarized it in 10, quite frankly, indefensible bullet points. It's just like very, very sort of like, oh, we must preserve the light of consciousness, making references to Nick Land, all of these sorts of things. Very almost sort of, accelerationism, like almost like post-humanism, which was sort of like the original vibe. Again, I thought it was all very, very funny. And all the memes that came out of it was very, very, very funny. But I think like, what I didn't realize at the time is that pre-EAC, and obviously everybody's going to have their qualms. Everybody's either going to be a supporter, or everyone's going to be a gigantic hater. But pre-EAC, I mean, a lot of the money at least in and around the Bay Area, they were going to sort of like the EA types, right? The like sort of like everybody, Berkeley types, reading Scott Alexander, Gwern. I mean, Less Wrong, Yavin. I mean, a lot of money was. I mean, the money was really going there. I mean, at least to support, that sort of like, whether it's like the bloggers or the thinkers, however you want to call them.
It almost, like, as I like start to think about it, it almost feels like EAC almost feels like this reactionary response to both like the collapse of FTX and like
exactly
the decline
what it was.
of EA as an EA Global.
Yep.
Which, I was like, trying to think about it. It was like,
EA
why
Global.
does it feel like it's taken off? Like, why did it feel like it took off so much?
Yeah.
And everyone was like, kind of entering that post-woke
era
of things.
Yeah. I mean, this was co-opted, and eventually co-opted by, Mark Andreessen, right? Who wrote the
Mark Andreessen loves
Techno Optimist.
Things.
Yeah.
Word salad.
Yeah. Dark Maga for a bit.
The Sydney Sweeney meme.
Yeah. Rip and piss. Yeah. I mean, like obviously, he's got the Techno Optimist manifesto. Actually, I have that on my bedside table.
You read it every day.
I've not read it. I've just got it.
You bring a girl home, she's like, "Wow, you're so well read. So smart."
It's funny. I mean, I remember with my ex, and I will keep this in. I think it was like it might have been the second or third date. I was like, "Hey, check out this thing that I wrote," because it was like a few months after EAC, and I was like, "This is pretty funny, isn't it?" It's like artist girlfriend. It's not online at all. It's like, hey,
wait, really?
Yeah, I did
What did
that.
she think of it?
And she was like, "Oh, it's pretty weird." I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's fucking correct.
Does she watch the pod? Do you know?
I doubt it. I mean, hey, maybe if she is. I want to actually get to a post. So obviously, like Gary Tan ended up embracing this as well. Yeah. I think this post is from, I fucking can't see with my sunglasses, 2023. He mentioned, now more than ever, Stanford needs to shake off the effective altruist, virtue signal philosophy, and embrace EAC, accelerationism, in the most direct form to solve real problems that create human abundance. So, again, sort of like this 2022, again, this was coming, at the end of 2023, so this would have lined up with good old Beth Bezos' Forbes docs, if we're thinking of the timeline in its purest form.
Yeah.
But this lasted for a while, kind of like Word Cell Shape Rotator. This lasted for quite a while. Obviously, like the AI hype, I feel like the AI hype was almost at its peak in 2023, at least peak sort of like job loss, like all of these sorts of thoughts that people were having. It's like, oh, cool.
Fears.
Yeah, the fears especially. Yeah. And so, I mean, like this was really, really running counter to exactly what you said, right? Sort of like the, EA Global, I mean, Peter Singer, another Australian. So, you got the Australians on either side of this. Go fucking figure.
Oh, man.
And of course, and obviously to wrap this up really, really briefly, I wanted to touch on Poster. So this is one that's probably even more niche than those two, because the Word Cell Shape Rotator thing, the EAC thing, people are still kind of, it's still in the ethos. People still know what EAC is. People still know what Word Cell Shape Rotator is. But I do feel like it's worth mentioning Poster, because a bunch of well-known anonymous accounts came out of that, right? And so, I mean, you want to go ahead and give like the explanation, explain to me like I'm 5 Poster account?
The thing is, I can't quite remember where it started.
Right. It was Last Contrarian.
It was
right?
Last Contrarian.
So like great...
great Twitter poster. Phenomenal even.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
I know. Question mark.
He's
out there
around.
in the ethos. Yeah.
He's around.
Yeah.
And just like as a complete sidebar, I found a a safe that I did not sign and wire money to Poster.
Oh, really?
And
A personal one or from like an old company?
No, a personal one.
Wow.
But they were like, do you want an angel invest? And
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, sure, probably. And then downloaded the safe.
Yep.
And then something happened with work and I got really
Of course.
busy.
Yep.
And then I was like hunting around my laptop for another safe. For work, I think.
Yeah.
And like in my iCloud drive pops up Poster Technologies. I was like,
damn it!
I missed it.
Yeah. I mean that's
Poster lives on.
Yeah, that's a rabbit hole. I mean, it still exists in some way, shape, or form, but I won't mention how.
But what I can't remember why Last Contrarian started Poster. I think again maybe one of these like reactionary responses to all of these people getting canceled.
Yep.
And wanting a space for free speech and a place to, I don't know, live without consequences. It was meant to be. It kind of felt like what somebody might have described as like an early 4chan, but for the internet, just people posting all sorts of things, no filters at all.
Yes.
And I think you were among like one of the first 50 people.
Yes. On it really early, and I mean, and just so it's explained fully. I mean, essentially all Poster was just a separate social media feed in which you were anonymous. Right, so it's basically
it was just Twitter, but everybody was anonymous. And they
anonymous
would not
Twitter
let
as
you
an app.
on
Yeah.
if you had your face or your real name on there. So I just moved over my old account. I moved over my Twitter account. I put like a pink bar across my
the
eyes.
classic, yeah. The pink bar, of course, that was like the symbol of the Poster, right? And there's actually, it's funny, one of the great accounts that came out of Poster, which of course is Fudge or @fuckposting. He actually posted at the end of 2023. He's like, Poster hoodies ? You don't see much of that anymore. And on it was basically in the picture is it's a picture of a hoodie, and on the back of it is essentially one of these Poster style profile pictures with the red bar, right? And so again, post-prod, people actually see what it looks like. If you're listening, you don't. Hopefully that description was enough for you. And so yeah, like, I mean, again, I think it's worth a mention just because the Anon thing got so hot during that point in time, sort of 2022, end of 2022, that people felt the need to invent an entirely different social media platform just to be anonymous. That's how popular this thing got. And now, sort of like since, I mean, I even look back onto 2023 just as a point to wrap up on. There's not really been many of these cultural movements that have made an impact as much as, say, Word Cell Shape Rotator, EAC, or even Poster to an extent. I feel like a lot of those that are high up in technology, a lot of those with the capital, they realized the influence that these anonymous accounts were getting. And so all of these resources have just been, they've just been focused on Twitter, right? I mean, it's like nowadays it's just every second post is a launch video. Every second post is talking the book. Again, what I would give, like talking the book. Don't mind if I do, actually. This segment is actually sponsored by Trufflepig.ai. Spreadsheets made easy. Go ahead and, they're actually hiring. If you want to go ahead and work for a fast-growing AI startup, go ahead and work for Trufflepig.ai. So yeah, speaking of talking the book. And so, yeah, like, I don't know. Can you think of any particular movements that have come out of it recently? I can't I mean, there's a lot of election discourse, as there always has been. I mean, we've got EAC vice president, Teal-funded vice president. That's an interesting thing.
Vice president?
No.
No.
But I mean, adjacent, right? Adjacent.
Certainly adjacent. As long as if you're like drawing like the Pepe Silvio like whiteboard where you've got like JD Vance connected to Peter Thiel, Thiel connected to like the Last Contrarian because that was his profile photo.
Yeah.
And then you've got Last Contrarian connected to Poster, and you've got Poster connected to Beth Bezos and you and all those people. Yep. Maybe there's like a quicker path through JD and EAC. Yep. But certainly there if you look hard enough.
Somebody needs to make this map, actually. Maybe I'll make the map.
I can make the map.
Yeah, if we can go ahead and make the map.
This is my favorite thing.
I think now is a good time to move on to the conversation with Spor. But first, let me tell you about Inference.net. Models as smart as God, but with better margins. Go to Inference.net if you're a startup and you're doing anywhere between 10 to 50K in OpenAI credits, in Anthropic credits, in Gemini spend. Of course, Sophia's just sitting here while I read the ads. I mean, it's always fun, just like making the girlies sit through ad reads. The chivalry is not dead. But basically, if your inference spend is getting high, right, you're probably going to be experiencing outages, right? Customer support with these big model providers might not be exactly what you need. You should go ahead and get in touch with inference.net. They'll go ahead and cut your costs. Of course, they'll reduce the amount of tool calls that you're using. They can train you a small custom model and host it themselves. 99% uptime. It is a no-brainer when you get to that scale. Go ahead and get in touch with inference.net. So, back due to popular demand, I'm actually here with my man, Spor, Justin.
Thank you for having me back.
I'm allowed to actually say that. So, the reason I've got him here is because we've covered a lot of sort of this anonymous Twitter timeline, teapot, whatever the fuck kind of schizophrenic little acronym we want to add to this timeline. I mean, again, it's a powerful timeline, right? We influence the San Francisco niche technology culture. But Justin comes in at an interesting time, right? So he comes in sort of just after a lot of these things, just after the whole shape rotator word cell, just after EAC, just after poster, like all of these things that we touched on in the previous segment. And so I wanted to basically just ask him how he got into the Anon Twitter sphere. So Justin, how did you get into the Anon Twitter sphere?
So it's been a few years now. I think I first got on Twitter maybe like early 2022.
Yeah.
I was definitely a lurker
Yep.
for a while.
Yep.
You know, I didn't have the confidence to post, didn't know what I would talk about. So I think I was actually still like a face account.
Yeah.
But just lurking, no followers, not saying anything. And then it was probably middle of like 2023
Yep.
that I decided to actually start posting, to start making something with this account. I definitely found Teapot pretty early on.
Yeah.
I was like looking for AI conversations on the internet and on Twitter. So I think I found a lot of the Berkeley AI policy people first.
Classic.
And then that transitioned into like Teapot, so like Eigenrobot,
Yep.
Visa, Rune, I think Growing Daniel as well. Like those are some of the early accounts I started to follow. And so it was at that point that I also realized that I could be an anon.
Yes.
On Twitter. This was a thing
Yeah,
that people
yeah.
did.
Yeah, there is a way in which I can say incriminating stuff and not have it go directly to my employer.
Yeah, and even for me, like I wasn't worried about my employer
Yeah.
like finding me out. I wasn't saying anything that I thought was too controversial. It was more. I think I realized that, you know, you start posting on the internet and you want people to care about what you're saying. There's two ways to go about it. You can like actually try to compete on the merit of your ideas and your thoughts, or you can just rely on like, oh, I'm so and so. I work at the XYZ big, FANG company
Yep.
in bio, and just like gain status from those social signifiers.
Yes.
And oh, you're just like someone to listen to. And I had none of that.
Yep.
I was a nobody. I wasn't really in AI or tech. I was just some name. And so I realized if you were an anon, you could just like throw all that out the window.
Yep.
And people literally had to take you on the value of your tweets, your
Yes.
ideas, your thoughts, like how good of a writer you were if you were saying interesting things.
Yep.
And also you kind of play a character. And that was fun for me because as someone who is like not really in tech or AI yet, I kind of felt like a poser talking about it.
Sure, yeah.
Even though I was reading about it, learning to code, all this stuff. So it gave me the like confidence of no one's gonna ask who I am
Yep.
because I'm anon. Like you're not supposed to know that.
Exactly.
And so I can kind of just be whoever I want to be. I can
Yeah.
play a character and I can have, good ideas or bad ideas, but people will listen if they're good.
Totally. Yeah, it's like this nice little social contract that you get as an anonymous account. It's like, okay, cool. Well, I am going to play this character. I can go ahead and say whatever the hell I want, and it's also kind of, it's frowned upon for anybody to actually ask who I am. Of course,
Yeah.
we even saw what happened with yourself on the timeline, and this
Yeah.
guy got absolutely dragged for it. Warranted, I must say. Yeah, I mean, my experience is basically the same, right? It's like, I think at the time I was out of sort of my little finance period, and I was back sort of just doing like music publishing, like back on the content side. And so very much the same sort of thing, like very much felt like a poser, but at the same time it's like, okay, cool, well, I find all of this sort of like anti-LinkedIn thing just to be kind of funny. Right?
Yeah.
It's like the anti-slop movement. So
Yeah.
I totally relate. And I'm curious, and I mean, especially to kind of get into this sort of next period, right? Because we covered sort of the 2022, you came in sort of 2023.
Yep.
And, obviously Elon was very much in charge now, and all of the Elon changes were starting to come into play, likes being hidden, all of these sorts of things that, we don't necessarily think much about now, but at the time, and I certainly think a lot about it now but that's my own problem. 16 hours of screen time, by the way. What does that say about me? But basically, all of those changes had started to come into effect. Yeah. And so I'm curious, how have you seen the anonymous account evolve, right, in your time as being an anonymous account, or just your time online in general?
I feel like when I started it, definitely I was a bit late to the party, but when I started mine and my account started to grow, it was still pretty weird, I thought, to have an Anon account. And you had so many people on the timeline, honestly, kind of angry about Anon accounts.
Yeah.
Cancel culture was still kind of a thing. Woke was still kind of a thing. And so everybody was like, oh, you're hiding behind a shield saying,
big time.
XYZ. And then I feel like in post Elon takeover, the whole Elon bucks revenue share rolls out, and obviously Twitter's changing, the algorithm is changing.
Yep.
And that in and of itself really changed the platform a ton.
Yep.
But then it kind of became cool in a way to have an anime PFP.
Yeah.
And it was because you had some posters beforehand with anime PFPs who were cracked and actually putting out crazy cool content. Then it just became this meme that if you have one of these PFPs, you must be good at AI, you must be cracked. And you had a bunch of LARPers and posers come into the space and kind of take over. It happens in any space. I can't even imagine what it's like to be in Teapot from the very beginning. And now you have, what is Teapot now?
Yeah.
What does that even mean? You have, Growing Daniel had an amazing tweet recently where somebody put out Teapot trading cards.
Oh.
And it's just
I don't think I even saw them.
I don't know if it went very viral, but I saw his commentary on it because it's all these accounts that I had never heard of, and I don't think many people in our space knew.
I did see that, yeah.
And it's where's Daniel? Where's Rune? Where's Eigenrobot? This is not Teapot. Whose Teapot is this? And so the space has changed quite a bit. And even just being an Anon has become way more accepted.
Yeah.
But also recently, I've seen a lot of Anons shedding that identity.
Yep.
Whether it's because they just don't like it anymore, or because I think we're all realizing that there is a lot to be gained from these accounts, and being an Anon isn't always conducive to that.
Yep.
I think that's probably part of the reason as well.
Totally. Yeah, I guess it kind of leads into my next question. It's do you personally see the utility in them anymore? Do you think that this is something that if you were to start out again, do you think you would start as an Anon account right now? 10th of November, 2025.
I think I still would. I don't think I'd ever even change my account now that I am Spor.
Yes.
I feel one and the same with this character. So I don't know if I could ever change it. If I were starting over, I think I would still be an Anon, but I would not be so hung up on protecting my identity I was for the longest time.
Yeah.
Because now I've seen how actually valuable Twitter as a space can be. And yeah, I think I could have gotten a lot more out of it sooner.
Yeah,
if I wasn't so obsessed with hiding my identity.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I know my thing, if there was anything that really limited my growth, it was that I actually put a limit on myself in that I always thought of it in the back of my mind as okay, this is this weird antisocial thing that I'm doing. And so therefore, I'm actually going to limit my time on it a little bit. I, for the longest amount of time, probably until the beginning of this year, 2025, I had a strict rule of only posting once or twice a day.
Oh, interesting.
And now it's obviously that rule is very, very clearly lifted. Again, once again, my own problem. But yeah, I think, it obviously worked at the time, and I was still able to build a following from it. But yeah, knowing what I know now, maybe I'd go harder. And that's maybe one of those things that I would think of. I think to wrap this up, because we've sort of talked about how you got into this. Since getting into it, how has your life changed? Because I know mine certainly has. I'm a fucking podcaster now. So, I have go figure. And so I'm curious, how has your life changed in any meaningful way since having this account?
A ton.
Yeah.
So I'll drop a bit of spore lore for the audience. When I started the account, and for most of the account, it's history, I was living abroad. I was in Spain. I wasn't in tech or AI or this whole ecosystem.
Yep.
I was working in politics.
Yep.
And I was living in Spain. There came a time about a year ago. My account was still smaller, but it was growing in size. There was a schism in my life. I ended up moving back to the States, quit my job, didn't know what I was going to do next, and I was crashing out on the timeline really hard.
Don't we all?
I was like, my life is over. Yeah. I'm gonna go work on an oil rig. I'm gonna go work on like a crab fishing boat. I was just being so dramatic. Yeah. It happens. And a really good mutual who now is a guy I consider a friend. Great guy, based Beth Bezos. Legend, the man, the myth, the legend. He was actually super helpful to me. He reached out to me in that moment and was like, dude, stop crashing out. Shut the fuck up. You're not doing any of this. Actually, like, there's a role I think you'd be great in. Like, here's someone I can refer you to. Yeah. And actually that led to a series of events that got me to where I am today. Nice. In my current job in San Francisco with the life I have now. So in a sense, like, Twitter got me here. Yep. And so I'm eternally thankful for that and all, like, the connections I've made, the people I've met. Yeah. So many of my best friends here in the city. I mean, we met on Twitter.
The classic.
It's a site where you get out of it what you put into it, and you can get a lot out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I try and explain to my parents all the time, which again maybe might be a problem with me. It's like, what are you up to? It's like, oh, hanging out with my Twitter friends. And then I'm sure they go ahead and like call me slurs and then hang up the phone. No, they don't actually do that, but it's something that it's incomprehensible to basically any of my family, and that's okay. I mean, my entire line of work now is incomprehensible to any of my family, and so that is what it is. I mean, we live in a different world now, but no, I mean, I certainly feel exactly the same way. It's
I got here, and I think a month into living in SF, my mom texts me, and she's like, "How are you getting along? Have you made a bunch of friends?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm hanging out with these people this weekend. I have like all these friends." Yeah. She's like, "How do you know these people?"
Yeah, it's like, what's their name? It's like, this is Sex2 inventor. This is Forge Gloyd Eac. It's like,
this is at the real Groiper. Shit like that. And she was just like mortified by the concept. She was like, are these like real people? Are they gonna like steal your money? Like, do they know who you are? And I was like, yes, I've met these people in real life. We just also know each other on the internet.
Actually pretty cool. He's actually, it's Forge Gloyd. He's actually, he's actually one of a staff engineer at a quant firm.
He's a PM at Google. It's like, actually, he's got a wife and kids.
Yeah.
So you can actually meet some pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a perfect time to wrap up on that note. But first, I must give a mention. We're speaking of where have you gotten from your little schizophrenic Twitter account. LighthouseHQ.com. Whether you're a founder, engineer, researcher, or startup leader, Lighthouse helps you secure US work visas in weeks, not months. From free evaluation to personal onboarding, streamlined preparation, and dedicated support, you're guided every step of the way. You can use their proprietary software to keep track of your visa application. Of course, some of the greatest companies in the Bay Area, some of I would say our favorite companies in the Bay Area use LighthouseHQ.com for their US immigration. Think Replit, think Reflection.ai, and countless other startups. Go ahead and get in touch with LighthouseHQ.com. They'll take care of you. They'll take care of your talent. Go ahead and get in touch with LighthouseHQ.com. So it wouldn't be an episode of Members of Technical Staff without reacting to some of the greatest posts in the history of posts. But before I do that, got to make a mention to the segment sponsor, Morph. Models that improve coding agents. Go ahead and check out Morph LLM. Do your little search and replaces, right? Really, really good with that sort of thing, actually. And they have a bunch of exciting stuff releasing this week and next week. Go ahead and check out morphllm.com. So, getting into these posts here, I actually want to start with one. And Sophia, I mean, like all of my co-hosts, they actually likely haven't seen the post before they actually hear them. But I want to actually react to one from Tommy. Tommy in Love. I think one of the most underrated posters going around,
oh my
especially
God,
right now.
Incredible.
Absolutely amazing. And so the reason I bring this up, and again, you'll hear why I bring this up. He says, saw a word cell versus shape rotator argument the other day. The word cell was wrong, but the shape rotator, despite really trying, just couldn't explain why he was wrong. So in a way, it's like the word cell was right. Classic. This was from March 31, 2025. So again, it's just like, everybody knows the lingo now, right? Yeah. Everybody knows the lingo. It still perpetuates through the niche San Francisco technology culture. The
interesting thing is that I would say that Tommy is I would say he's a word rotator.
Yeah, he's like the yeah.
He's not quite a word cell. He's not quite a shape rotator. I think online he very much gives word cell.
Yeah.
But in person, he's an engineer. You know,
Yeah.
He's
quite a talented engineer.
Quite a talented engineer as well, and a pilot
Yeah.
to boot.
I know. It's crazy. As a plane is flying over. I wonder if
the plane is flying over.
I wonder if
Tommy, is that you?
yeah, I wonder if the mics will capture this. I mean, it's just an incredible day in the center of the universe. It's another one of Rune's little lines. San Francisco is the center of the universe, being saying that since 2021. I mean,
Yes.
Okay, moving on. I want to get to this is a post from mine, right? So this is a reference to EA versus EAC. Of course, what I didn't get into in regards to the whole EAC thing is, obviously Beth and Baze particularly really took that to the next level and really amped up essentially just the cultural sway. Of course, Beth talks a lot about the thermodynamic god. Of course, now he's building sort of like the thermodynamic chips. Again, talk your book. Big fan. Love talking my book. Go to inference.net, go to lighthousehq.com, go to morphlm.com, go to trufflepig.ai. So again, just we all be talking our books, and that's totally fine actually. Of course, how would I explain how I positioned myself? Of course, I'm still good friends with Beth and Baze. But for me, it wasn't really at all related to what I was doing. And so I was distanced a little bit, and of course I distanced myself a little bit, and of course I love to poke fun at myself and anything that I've done. So I tweeted out at the end of last year, so this was December 26, 2024, I said, the culture wars were way more fun when it was just EA versus EAC. The EACs would say, it's time to build and goon to AI waifus, and the EAs would go to Berkeley rat houses and do like Mongolian foreskin lengthening techniques during Kepler-42b's fourth orbital cycle or something. That's what I said.
Jaden, that was the day after Christmas.
Yeah.
What was happening? Where were you?
I was probably at home by myself, or maybe I was with family.
Yeah. Furiously typing at the dinner table.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, maybe I'll edit it in post-prod or something. I'm trying to remember what happened the day after Christmas, 2024. There would have been something that happened.
What happened last year for me was there was a lot of H1B discourse going around.
Yeah. Of course.
There's a lot of H1B discourse going around.
Yep.
A lot of guys on the timeline.
You know what? I think that's what it would have been, right? Because I mentioned the culture war, and again, it's like, a lot of the cultural movements, if we even want to call it that now, that happen on the timeline. It's just kind of like boring, like milquetoast politics bullshit. There's a hot take. Don't go after me for that one. I mean, it's just like, I don't know. I just find it really, really boring. I find it really, really boring. So that's why the niche San Francisco micro technology culture is just cooler, in my opinion. And so to wrap this up, I want to actually get a post here from Growing Daniel. And what he says, effective accelerationism is when tech bros think we should build tech, but also they say the word thermal a lot. Effective altruism is when statisticians think we should use statistics, but they say the words ethical non-monogamy a lot. So, if you can't be a part of a movement, just like drag both of them.
When did he tweet that?
This was December 2nd, 2023.
I think he stole that tweet from me.
Really?
Yeah.
Classic.
Certainly not the second half. But,
really? I'll have to go ahead and try and find it. Again, post-prod's a beautiful thing.
No, I mean like in the sense of like, sometimes when you hang out with a lot of Twitter people, you have to watch what you say around them because your tweets are just like the things that you say just become tweets.
Yeah.
You're like scrolling on the timeline one day and like maybe you said something at a dinner party and then you're like, wait, I said that.
Yeah, hang on a second. That came out of this. Yeah.
Hang on.
Yeah.
I can't say anything in this house because
it's gonna end up on the timeline.
My roommate has prima noctis.
Yeah.
So anything that is said in the house is like, I have the most followers, I get the most engagement, I can delete
shit. Yeah.
I mean, you're like, you know what? Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. No, of course.
More furniture. The interesting thing, or something that I wanted to say here though, is that I was explaining, and you can cut this too, but I was explaining effective altruism to Jasmine.
Yeah.
And she's like, she was kind of new to the scene.
Yep.
At this point, she'd like been around for effectively like 3 months. And she was like, I hear a lot about EAs. And I'm working in Berkeley and I like work with a lot of them, but I don't really know what it is. And I'm like trying to explain this whole thing about like effective altruism and mosquito nets.
Yeah, maximizing life years above all else.
All of this. And she she goes, like, the one thing that she does know about them is that they're all poly.
Yep.
Or a lot of them are poly.
Classic.
And she's like, oh, so like they're trying to maximize like their love through like having as many partners as possible. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly
Yeah, we can go with that. Yeah, terrible marketing for the, I mean, that, like, honestly, yeah, that is the first thing that comes to mind when I think of that faction now, unfortunately, right? It's like, you know, and I think, like, obviously everybody, like, all of these people, I'm sure they have good intentions, you know, I mean, otherwise, you know, the whole maximizing life years thing, I mean, that comes with good intentions, but unfortunately, the label now is just simply, oh, the EAs, like the poly guys.
I think they need a rebrand.
Of course.
I think they need to completely move away from effective altruism.
Yeah.
And the name of the movement is good and you know, very effective in describing what they do very succinctly.
Yep.
But if the first thing, but I think it just triggers such a disgust response in other people that they, I think, push away a lot of people who would otherwise be very interested in, you know, donating their money or like focusing more on charity efforts or reducing suffering. Time for a rebrand.
I think this is exactly right.
Needs a rebrand.
I think this is correct as well. On that note, I think it's a perfect place to wrap up. I wonder if this motorcycle rider is going to come by and we're going to hear his nice loud music, seeing as we're doing this out on the rooftop. Oh no, he was actually quite polite about it.
It's like he turned it down.
He turned it down for us. If you've been listening to another episode of Members of Technical Stuff, we'll go ahead and see you on the timeline again real soon.